Hey there, everyone. It's Weather for Weather Geeks time, Tuesday evening edition. We're less than 48 hours, of course, away from Thanksgiving, and it promises to be a very, very cold one. We're, of course, going to get to the Thanksgiving forecast in this video, but first, a quick review of almost the first 3 weeks of November, and boy, it's been cold. 13 consecutive cooler than average days now, stretching back through the 8th. We had an average day on the 7th. It's been 2 weeks ago today that we had an above average or warmer than average high temperature. And when we combine the highs and the lows and come up with an average, we're running about a 4.5 degree deficit now through the first 20 days of November. So this has been, definitely an abrupt change compared to the pattern for a lot of the spring and summer. When we look at temperatures compared to average, of course, we just had 6 consecutive months of warmer than average temperatures, starting in May and continuing through October. This month has been a little more like those chilly spring months we had in March and April, which were well below average after a warm February. So, again, kind of an abrupt change, that is for sure, and certainly the month is going to end up being a cooler than average month for the first time since April. All right, weather picture across the U.S. is pretty quiet this evening. There's hardly anything on the radar. I mean, a few flurries around the Great Lakes. The flurries we had earlier on have faded away. Temperatures are becoming the story. All right, it's cold. It's not crazy cold, but it's cold near the U.S.-Canadian border this evening. 13 in the nation's icebox, International Falls, Minnesota, near the border. 24 in Fargo, Marquette, Michigan at 19. The really cold air is just off to the north. Look at this air. Up across northern Canada, close to the Arctic Circle, teens, 20s, below zero. These are air temperatures, not the wind chills, actual air temperatures. It's pretty bad up here. And, it's supposed to be cold up there at this time of the year, of course, but this is some pretty harsh cold, a little unusual for November, and this is what's going to take aim, especially at New England, but even across the Great Lakes. We've got a significant cold shot coming for Thanksgiving. Now, the coldest anomalies, the difference from average, will indeed be aimed at New England, but around here, we're still going to be running 20-degree deficits for Thanksgiving Day. Before we get to that point, though, we want to talk about tomorrow. We have this Arctic front coming in tomorrow. This is the leading edge of that really cold air. And Arctic fronts oftentimes produce changeable conditions with rapid reductions in visibility with snow showers, and we may have a thin line of snow showers and embedded squalls pushing southward right around midday and early afternoon tomorrow. Now, in any one location, if this comes to fruition, in any one location, it's not going to last very long. You might see a burst of snow for 5-10 minutes, maybe 15 at the most, but that could be just enough to cause localized quick reductions in visibility, small accumulations, and again, these are the kind of situations that oftentimes lead to problems on the roads, even more so than big ticket snowstorms that everybody prepares for. Tomorrow's going to be one of those days where in your location it might only snow for 20 minutes out of the whole day, but during that 20 minutes it might really come down hard. And again, that sometimes leads to more problems on the roads than the bigger storms because of the rapid changes that can occur. So we have the highest snow chances starting at 11, running through about 3 tomorrow afternoon. Again, this will sink from north to south. Before the 11 o'clock news tonight, I'll probably fine-tune these even more and maybe really hone in on what few-hour period the snow chances are even higher. It'll probably be something like 12 to 2. So I'll look for that update on the app and tonight on 21 News at 11. So again, we're not looking for all-day impacts at all tomorrow. It's a very busy travel day across the nation as a whole, the day before Thanksgiving. Typically one of the most, if not the most, heavily traveled days, both on the roads and at the airports. And most of the day here will be fine. It's going to be blustery and cold, but watch out for that band of snow showers during midday, early afternoon. Beyond that, probably some flurries, some hit or miss snow showers for the rest of the day. I would expect pretty small impacts from any residual snow showers later on in the day tomorrow. All right, high pressure builds in, and this is a big, burly Arctic high pressure system that is straight out of the northern reaches of Canada, as I just showed you, and it will provide sunshine for Thursday afternoon. It'll be nice to see the sun. Too bad it's going to be so ineffective. All right, Friday looks to be a little bit warmer. Now, it's going to be freezing cold for shoppers Friday morning. We're talking about teens for temperatures, wind chills upper single digits to around 10. If you happen to be heading out late Thursday night into Friday morning, just be ready for some harsh cold. But as that high slips off to the east, the wind will start coming back around to more of a southerly direction Friday afternoon. And although some high clouds will increase, it should be a noticeably better afternoon Friday. I've got 40 in the forecast. That'll feel pretty nice after a really cold Thanksgiving and a cold Thursday night. All right, so Thanksgiving forecast really hasn't changed since yesterday. We took our high down to 27 yesterday, and that's still where we expect to be. Now, the record for the coldest Thanksgiving at the Youngstown Warren Airport was set just 5 years ago. If you missed this last night, I showed this graphic last night. The number to beat is 25, set back in 2013 for the high temperature. I doubt we break that record. I think 25 is the coldest I could see it. I think more likely it's 26 or 27. Kind of depends on how fast we lose any residual early morning cloudiness. If we lose that cloudiness real fast, then I think 27 is more likely than 25 or 26. I don't know which way you slice it. It's going to be cold. There's that weekend warm-up. I've got 50 now for the forecast on Sunday. The weekend will start out on a rainy note, though. I've got a pretty good chance for rain in the forecast on Saturday. That includes for the OSU-Michigan game down in Columbus as well, especially in the morning for tailgaters and maybe early in the game. There may be a drying trend as we go into the second quarter and into the second half of that game down at the Horseshoe, but tailgating and early in the game may be pretty soggy, locally and down there. Long-range forecast, expecting a turn towards colder weather compared to average as we go into the first stages of December. And this was last night's run of the long-range European modeling. The blues, of course, cooler than average temperatures, and there's not much relief advertised by this set of modeling through mid-December. It shows maybe a little bit of a moderating trend nationwide in kind of the run-up to Christmas. But then it does have it getting colder again from Christmas to New Year's and into early January. This is backed up by the American long-range modeling, the CFS model, Climate Forecast System, showing a lot of blue on the map through mid-December. It also hints that it may be a little bit milder, getting closer to Christmas time, followed by more blue at the end of the year. And here's the overall December forecast. Oops, here it is right here. This is the overall December forecast according to that long-range modeling, showing warmer than average conditions in the Pacific Northwest, the Northern Plains, cooler than average along the eastern seaboard, and somewhat cooler than average all the way back to the Ohio River Valley. So that's kind of the latest on what the models are showing. I'll have an update on the December and the entire winter forecast coming up that first Monday in December. I think it's the 3rd. So look for that here on Weather for Weather Geeks and on the TV side as well. We'll have one more edition of Weather for Weather Geeks this week. It's coming up tomorrow evening. Look forward to seeing you then, and have a great Tuesday night.